Switching time, let's go!
4 months since I started my CSGO training routine. 30 minutes of daily training is definitely hard, but I just passed day 120, so grab a seat and let me share my experience. But first, for those who don't know, and my fiancé, a quick recap. My goal is to improve my mechanical aim. I created a routine that I run every day. 1 round of fast aim reflex training, 500 frags. 1 round of training aim CSGO 2 fast aim mode, play until 500 targets are hit, repeat if needed. Another round of training aim CSGO 2, same as before but with a smaller target, and no need to repeat if the 500 goal is not achieved. Finish with 1 full round of Valve deathmatch. Sick, tired, stressed out for more, I will record a session and post the full thing on YouTube. From each day I will extract data and write it in a spreadsheet so that I can track my progress. So, have I improved? Yes, but I post 1 video every day. And these videos are boring as Once every 2 months I'll post one of these training review videos where I go over what happened, what I've learned and what's changed. In my previous review video, the first one by the way, I got phenomenal feedback from you guys. I've learned more from your comments than I have from all the videos I've watched on CSGO from big influencers, so thank you. There are even some of you that watch and comment on my daily training videos. You're teaching me and also keeping me motivated to continue, so that's a big deal. Thank you again. CSGO is a far more complex game. It is simple to pick up and play, but hard to master. At its core, you just have to move around and click on targets. But then it gets deeper, and I'm not even talking about the competitive aspects of it, with all those tactics and smokes and callouts and weapons economies. There are so many things to consider just to improve your aim. It's like you can definitely write a book on that. And it's true, I'm only interested in improving my mechanical skills. I have zero interest in competitive, at least for now. If I would like to worry about money and economy, I can do that in real life. Thank you very much. Talking about money, let me thank today's sponsor. Someone donated $5 to my Buy Me a Coffee page. I did buy a coffee and played with an awful coffee buzz, resulting in a bad overall score on that particular day. Thank you. Think about this. Even what you eat can influence your game performance. My mind goes to those professionals that must be worried about what they eat during tournaments just to make sure they don't get diarrhea or something. It looks fun, but I bet there's a lot of hard work behind the scenes for those players. Godspeed. So, changes. Because I have 1 full year to experiment, what I do is I only change 1 or 2 aspects of my setup. I will track the effects of these changes for a few days in my spreadsheet, and when I feel like there's no more improvement gains, I will implement a new change. This way I will learn what are the most impactful practices. I started with 180 hours of CSGO, 45Hz refresh monitor and an overall poor condition, so I am a good candidate for this experiment. First thing that changed this time around was hardware. I already had a good gaming mouse, decent gaming pad and keyboard, but the thing that I bought was a pair of glasses. Turns out I was playing with a handicap. In the first 2 months of training, I always felt tired after a session. I am a software developer, so I spend most of my time in front of a screen, so I'm pretty tough, but focusing on all of those targets day after day was giving me critical damage. My eyes felt really tired after each session, so I booked an eye check and the doctor, without hesitation, gave me permanent glasses. So if you are like me and feel tired after playing, consider an eye check. After I got used to the glasses, I feel a lot more comfortable even after my routine. Many comments were telling me to change my crosshair, so I did. I now use this small green static one and I like it. I also made the game a bit harder by choosing smaller targets for training aim CSGO 2. First round is now with 8 radius and the second with 5 radius. The previous version with 10 and 8 targets was getting too easy, to the point that I could get consecutive days with 0 misses. The 5 radius mode is especially hard for me, but this is a good thing because it helps me force my limits and it's actually the best progress indicator I track. If I will ever reach numerous consecutive days with 0 misses in this mode, I will consider myself a god. For now though, it's hard for me to stay completely focused for 20 minutes straight, and the constant crash sound of the target makes my mind wander away. I lose focus. Another advice that stood out from the comments is counter-strafing. This is a mechanic I didn't know about, and it's one of those things I mentioned that makes CSGO aiming a more complex concept than it seems. Firstly, I practiced counter-strafing in a dedicated map just to understand the concept better, and I posted a video if you want to see a new brain experiencing this concept for the first time. I also try to do it while playing the fast aim map, but with that small foot space. At most what I can do is a micro jiggle. Nevertheless, it's important to move. It's also a good exercise for the muscles of my left hand. Counter-strafing, or this constant movement, had a negative impact on my scores. I was basically back at the same level I was when I started all of this 4 months ago. Progress is visible, so I'll keep doing it because I understand that this is a very important mechanic.
I'm important.
On day 85, I changed some of my settings. Basically, I've applied most of the changes suggested by Vu in this video, and most notably the mouse DPI settings. He has a good explanation of eDPI, so if you haven't seen that video already, go and check it out. This time around, there were no amazing improvements like I got 2 months ago when I first changed the DPI settings of my mouse, but at least my score didn't drop either, so that's a good sign. One thing that I could not keep was the 4:3 aspect ratio. At the time I was still running on my 45Hz display, and the stretch out 4:3 mode on that hardware was a pain. Not only that I did not see the targets for long enough because of the refresh rate, but when I saw them they were moving faster because of the resolution. 4:3 should be better in theory, but the difference between theory and practice is greater in practice than in theory. Small aspect ratio plus small refresh rate equals small PP. No good. Another suggestion that I could not keep from the comments was community server deathmatches. There are many reasons why I refuse to switch. First, I'm required to search for a server similar to my routine. 10 minutes rounds with no bells, no whistles, no laser sounds and no funny colors. I need to stay consistent with my current game style to not corrupt the spreadsheet data. Second, I already run on an unstable setup. I'm gaming on Linux. Some days my game just doesn't start, sometimes I can't select weapons, my Crosshair is missing from ops, game crashes a lot, or maps won't load correctly, recordings end up as black screen and I have to re-record, and so on. One of the servers I tried to play on downloaded a bunch of files on my machine, overwrote some of the game files and corrupted the game itself, so some servers are fun, but they are not suited for my current routine. I eventually upgraded my dual screen setup. Before I was using 2 monitors, each was 45Hz refresh rate. Now I'm using only 1 monitor. This is a 32-inch display with 166Hz refresh rate. I got this unit second hand and chose the bigger screen because I also use it for software development. So here is the surprise. I was really expecting a big improvement in score with this new change, but no. My first day with the high refresh rate monitor felt worse than my previous shitty setup. I hadn't experienced a high refresh rate monitor until now, but I was definitely seeing the improvement in my operating system as everything was moving smoother. Just that in game there were a lot of swooshes. I think these are referred to as ghosting. Basically, I would see a trail of pixels behind the moving targets, and this messed up my hand-eye coordination big time. The effect was most visible just as I would start to flick towards an enemy. I tried to record this with an external camera, but it doesn't show what I was seeing with my own eyes. 2 minutes of penalty compared to the previous days during fast time is a confirmation of my experience. So I finished the day disappointed about my decision and purchase and started tinkering with the monitor settings. I simply started using it as is, out of the box, like I usually do, but none of the settings from the monitor itself had any positive effect. I also tried a lot of tweaks in my operating system, but I still saw the same ghosting effect. What eventually worked was setting the game to windowed mode and 4:3 aspect ratio. This made the game window smaller, but on the 32 inches surface it still looks big and playable. Also disabling night mode in my operating system and increasing the brightness just a bit helped a lot. In the end, small aspect ratio plus big high refresh rate monitor equals big PP. Great success! I know 4:3 should be used in stretch mode because it makes the player models wider, so theoretically easier to spot and shoot. I will give this try sometime. Remember, I do incremental changes just to observe the benefits of each and every one of them. This is the end of my 4th month of training. Overall, I am pleased with the results. There are small improvements, but even with the latest changes that lowered my overall score, the data shows that I am on a constant ascending path both in the target maps and in deathmatches. Before I go, if you play a similar routine and have posted videos online, please leave a link in the comments. I would really like to observe people who play similar setups and especially observe hand movements, as this is the next aspect that I definitely need to improve. If there is anything else I can apply to my routine to improve aim, let me know. I will test it out and report back. At the end of the experiment, 8 months from now, we will all learn what are the best—
Hey, are you playing that stupid game again?
Shit, I gotta go, bye.